Yes! Welcome, everyone. My name is Ivy Ramirez, and with me is my co-creator, Marlene Gamble. And this is another episode of Fuck Customer Service.
Bruh.
What happened?
Okay, so I was minding my own business in the CVS.
Yeah.
And this guy freaking just starts to, like, grab stuff. Mm-hmm. He started grabbing stuff, and it was in that form of, like, I'm gonna grab this shit, I'm gonna grab this, I'm gonna grab this, right?
Like looting.
And I'm like, yeah, like looting. Uh-huh. And I'm like, he had a backpack too. And he had that thing like wrapped around the front. Like as soon as he got in, he wrapped that backpack to the front and then he unzipped and then he was just like tossing stuff. And then I was like, dang, like I really need to get my prescription. So I just go and I get in the line for the freaking prescription. I'm like, this guy is robbing this place.
Was it?
I'm here to pick up my prescription.
You said this was Walgreens or CVS? Sorry.
CVS.
Okay, I was in a Walgreens and no joke, like similar, like almost identical situation happened, except I hear like clatter, like something's like clattering behind me, and I turn around and this guy is like fiendishly like looking at us, like or in the direction of everybody in line, and like looking in our way, as if he, I don't know, was possessed. I there was no recognition of anything.
Like he had a glazed look or what? Like just like
I don't know. I have no. It was, to me, it was like a little petrifying, because it's like it's that look that you get where it's like all morality has abandoned this person and you don't know what they're capable of doing. He like took an arm swipe of shit and just like dumped it in. It was, well, more like a duffel bag actually. Arm swiped a whole shelf into his duffel bag, and nothing, no reaction from the register or the cashier. There was no reaction from anybody else in line. I felt like I was the fucking idiot, like looking around concerned, like, what is going on? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, like what was those non-player
an NPC
people? What is it?
Non-player character. Yeah, an NPC.
Non-player. Yeah, like everybody's a non-player character.
It seemed way.
You got the one guy that's playing freaking San Andreas and he's robbing the fucking store, and you're like.
But this is like a lot. And if you're telling me this happened at CVS and it's like, this is Walgreens, like, bro, is there like some underground market that I'm unaware of where you can get shit cheaper? Because what the fuck?
Yeah, it was very weird because nobody was reacting, and it literally solidified the fact that I'm living in a simulation.
A simulation, yeah.
You have like your group of people that you interact with that are able to free think, who are also playing in the same simulation, but then you have all these player characters that are just lurking around. Their background noise. So, I mean, the guy robbing the place could have been, a player, but he's like, you know what? Today I'm going to choose violence, and I'm going to go in there and I'm going to rob this place because nobody's going to do anything, and I'm going to get away with it. So I made sure like he left. I was kind of like going around the opposite side. He left, and then I get out to the car with my husband, and then I casually get in the car, and I'm like, okay, and I'm putting my stuff away, and he's like, oh, okay, that was fast. I was like, yeah. I was like, see that guy right there? Who was still lurking in the front of the building, mind you. He was over there, like, you could have put a song, what was that? Everybody's Kung Fu Fighting. He was, like, fighting the bush. Like, he was just, like, karate chopping.
Was he high?
The trash can. I guess. I don't know. Like, he lost his mind as soon as he got out of the store. It's like, he's over there fighting the bushes and kicking them and karate chopping them, and then, like, going into his bag and eating some snacks. And then, like, and I was like, see that guy right there? He's like, yeah. He's, like, tripping out. I was like, yeah, he just robbed the place.
Oh my god.
And then my husband's like, are you serious?
Maybe he was high on his adrenaline too. Like he was like,
probably
again, I fucking did it. oh my god, yes!
Yes! Did it! Nobody's gonna do shit to Winky. Help.
I am invincible!
I'm invincible.
But see, that's what I'm telling you, man. Like, I don't know what happens in those scenarios. Like, where, like, everybody wants to be a hero. At one point or another, you want to either, like I said, save somebody from getting mugged, or save somebody from maybe somebody talking shit at work, or save whatever. Like, you want to be a hero at some point or another. You want to interject yourself in a situation where you can provide justice for somebody else. But it's like, also, when do these things actually occur and present themselves? Because you think it's like all the time. You think it's every time that there's some sort of injustice, you should intercede and like interject yourself. But it almost, but also there isn't. It's not almost every time. And so I don't know. For me, I was very confused on what I was supposed to do, especially since I was the only person having any reaction at all.
Right. And that actually the same thing kind of happened to my brother. He was inside a Ross and he was looking for pants. Yeah. And so he was going through the selection and he calls me right after. He says, I was going through, I was looking, I found like 2 good pairs and I think I found my little section of size. I finally found the section that I belong in. And then this guy walks up just out of nowhere, grabs an armful of the rack, like right like in his area, just grabs his size, smushes it all together, lifts it off the rack, and walks out of the freaking Ross. Oh my God. My brother's standing there like, Can I buy some of those from you? Because, like, bro, I think all those were my size. Where are you going to be at? The swap meet? Like, where can I find you? It's like, do you have a card? I really like those black ones. I know. I was like, I kind of needed those black pants that you just took, but okay. Yeah, but he was just like, nobody said anything. He's like, I almost felt like I should have gave him my pants that I had in my hand so he could just walk out and, like, leave them casually on the floor somewhere for me. Like, he even felt that, like, oh, why do I have to pay for this if this guy just took, like, 30 pairs of pants and walked out?
Yeah. Don't they have protocols for this? Like, I know they have loss prevention teams and stuff and whatever, but what would be the downside in tasing somebody as they're walking out with all this shit? Like, you get somebody who accidentally has something in their pocket and it's like you like tackle them down, you know, you spear them down and then like you get somebody that has a whole duffel bag of shit and you don't even tase them? Something?
Right?
From afar, you don't have to put yourself in physical danger. Like, what is the robber going to say? Oh, I'm suing them because they caused me bodily harm? What? While I'm trying to steal hundreds of however many, not million, but however many hundreds of dollars. And, oh, yeah, but they caused me harm. Like, I don't know. If somebody could explain this to me, that would be ideal because I obviously do not know enough to understand the loss prevention policies of any store, because this is ridiculous how you catch someone with one item and you get them and you fucking put them on the wall of shame, never shop here again, and then you have the people with hundreds of items and it's like, oh, they're good, see you, Larry, we'll talk to you, we'll see you next week. Like, what the fuck?
See you when the truck comes next week.
Oh, maybe it's is it like an insurance thing? Like, you know, where insurance fraud, where you try to, is there a perk to doing this from the company side? Because I honestly do not understand.
I don't know, but I need to sign up for that perk. I want those kind of perks. Like, how aggressive can you be, like, going into a store? Like, are you willing to put your life in danger for somebody who's going to possibly deter you from doing your job? I'm like, I don't know, but I'll take my chances.
Can I keep the stuff? Can I keep the stuff?
Can I keep the stuff? Absolutely. Whatever you can grab in the first 10 seconds is yours. Yes. All right. Stay away from the makeup. Oh, all right.
Damn it.
Damn it. Shit's expensive. Like, I know.
But what I'm saying is, given the option of what do you fear the most? Do you fear the unknown or do you fear what you know? You fear what you know, because what you don't know, A, it may not be as bad as you think it is, number one. And number two, it could not even happen at all. Right. And so in that moment, I didn't know what I was thinking, because it wasn't a fear of the unknown, oh, he's going to pull out a gun, whatever. Like, it wasn't that. It was a fear, or again, not even a fear. It was a feeling of, what do I do? Where is this my calling right now? Am I going to step into Batman mode and fucking, I don't know, ninja chuck him or fucking, I don't know. Like,
am I going to throw this freaking Reese's peanut butter bar and like ninja slice him in the temple and he's going to pass out?
Right. Like, I'm like, is this go time right now? Is this go mode? Let's fucking throw down, guy. But like, I didn't, because I'm like looking around and I'm like, well, maybe not, because he might mug me outside. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, okay, I'm just going to pretend that I'm one of these non-player characters and go with the flow. Don't blink too hard. I think it's gonna rain tomorrow. Oh, really? I didn't notice. Next. That's me.
It's
walk out
you say,
and then like pause in the middle like you're glitching and then keep walking.
No, it's funny that you say you keep making that reference to NPCs, because in WoW they have it to where you can turn the titles on and off. So when you turn the titles on for the NPCs, their name is in green, so you know that they're not a real character, and then the regular characters' names are in blue. And I'm just thinking from like a game perspective, if this guy, as you said, was given the role of, oh, you're going to go and now be a chaotic force in this scenario, if I were to try to act like an NPC and he had his titles on, would my shit be blue? And now I'm looking like an idiot trying to pretend like I'm an NPC, like, oh, yeah. Hey, Bob, like, look at the weather outside.
Look at the weather outside.
And he's like looking like, is she really trying to pass herself off as an NPC? Like,
you pass by him, I need to find cat food. Like, I could see your blue label. I need to buy cat food. Keep walking.
Yeah, that's what insurance is for. But I mean, but other people, like that type of scenario probably would have triggered something for them, like maybe PTSD or something.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a crazy scenario.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, like, there's healthy fears, there's irrational fears, there's unknown fears. There's so many different things that can motivate behaviors and thoughts. And sometimes I feel that what people experience when it comes to like social situations is fear. If you are unwilling to accept a different point of view, then you're not going to be open to other things. If we're talking religion and you're coming from a place of, oh, I've only known this, and and everything that has been that I've been indoctrinated with is that all of these other things are wrong, then you're going to have wars, you're going to have disagreements, you're going to have arguments in a bar fight. And it's like, it's that type of fear from not from holding your beliefs true that that causes disagreements in society.
Right.
But,
I don't watch news at all. I stopped watching all the Fox News, the CNN, all that stuff. I stopped watching it around 2016, 2015. I stopped watching it, like, completely. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
It started to get too fear-based.
Yeah.
And, like, when this pandemic came around, I mean, people were losing their minds. I had a mail route. I had this one customer who came out, and he was like frantic. He was nervous about the shutdown and he's like, I don't know what to do. You know, my family was in a different state, and he wanted them to stay there because he didn't want them to travel. So he was at home by himself, and he was just losing his mind. He's like, oh, I'm alone. You know, I want my family to be safe. This disease, is it airborne? Is it not airborne? is just going like the flu. Like, it was right at the beginning. And so he's like telling me all this stuff, and I'm like, listen, turn off your news. Because he had like...
He had it playing.
Yeah, he had it playing on a big giant screen, you know? And I was like, listen, come out here. Actually, come into the truck. Come to the truck. He followed me out to the truck, and obviously you can't hear the TV out there. And I'm like, you feel how nice it is out here? I was like, I just want you to take a second. I'm like, just listen. And it was just quiet. It was just country road. There's nothing out there. You could hear the birds. You can hear, you know, the deers walking out into the trees. Like, it's a light thumping. It's walking. It's not Bigfoot. And like, you could hear the freaking turkeys are gobbling out there. And it was a nice day. The sun was out. It was a blue sky. It was just peaceful. And I'm like, just look. I was like, just look out there. Look down the road. And I'm like, it's peaceful. And he's like, yeah, it is peaceful.
Yeah.
And then I was like, just relax. Just kind of like bring yourself down. Your wife's going to be okay. She's with family. She'll get home when she's able to. Just calm. Let's just focus on what we know we can control. We can't control anything else. We can't control what's going on or who's going to get sick or who's not going to get sick. Right now, you're healthy. She's healthy. I'm healthy. We're alive. Let's focus on getting each other back. Get your wife back. Get your family where they're supposed to be. And then you can settle. And he's like, yeah, okay, good, yeah. And I'm like, just stay out here for a little bit, okay? Just work on your yard a little bit. Don't go inside. When you go inside, don't turn the TV on. Actually, when you go inside, turn the TV off. Put your music on.
Or play something else. Like, put something else on that isn't fear-based.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I said, put your music on, you know, dance around the house like you're a lunatic. Nobody's here to watch. You know? Get that energy out. And then he's like, yeah, you know what? Thank you so much. You know, that really helped. I was just happy I was able to help him just come off the ledge, regroup his mind, so that this way he can stop feeding the fear. Because like, that's what you got to do. You just have to stop feeding it, so this way you can focus on what tasks you need to do.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is like, when you do realize the situation is getting to a place of animosity or a place of any type of disagreement where you're now going down this path, like, pay attention to what the actual motivation of that emotion is, though, because a lot of people, there's displaced emotion. We have displaced emotions in our everyday life, and one of the main ones that people don't want to talk about at all is fear. Because like we said, it makes you feel, or it makes you feel weak. It makes you look weak. It makes you feel like you're, unable to stand your ground, whatever it is. And people don't like that feeling. Also, when I say don't watch something that is fear-based, I'm saying like things that motivate, like that persuade you into thinking something is bigger than it is, or that you're just, like you're saying, you're just going over it again and again, and it's just feeding more anxiety into your mind. It's like that type of fear-based stuff. Don't watch that. If you want to watch a marathon of horror movies, like let's meet up, let's do this. Like, I am down for watching a horror movie marathon, but this is something that a lot of people do still, surprisingly still. They'll have the news, or they'll have whatever thing on TV, even like 60 Minutes or like documentaries sometimes causes people to go off the deep end.
Oh yeah, like the 2020s or I used to love those shows, but as soon as I became a mom, forget it. I stopped watching those things because I play every single scenario in my mind whenever my kid gets lost in the store because he went one aisle too far ahead of me, or if I walk too fast and I left him behind and I turn around and he's not there. In that second, like 3,000 scenarios happen. of like what possibly could have happened to him. And all I need to do is just call out his name and he'd be like, I'm right here. And I'm like, oh, that relief is like gold.
But I'm sure in those seconds where you were like freaking out in your mind, you were like, oh fuck. Like I just so, oh God, where?
Like, oh my God, it happened. He's already in the third county. I turned my back and he's already out the door. Somebody's got him.
It reminds me of this, it's called The Allegory of the Cave from Plato's Republic. It's the story where there's this group of people that are chained to the ground, I guess you could say, and they're watching a wall. They're watching shadows on a wall. A lot of people may already know, and I'm probably going to butcher in how I describe this, but anyway, they're watching a wall, and they're watching these shadows pass, and they're like playing bets with each other, like, oh, I bet you I can guess the next one, and I can this and that. And that's their whole reality. That's they wake up, they sleep, like everything is just, they're watching this wall. There is no, to their knowledge, there is no outside world outside that cave. It's just the cave. But what happens is one of them gets released, and he's a little like apprehensive at first because he's like, oh shit, what just happened? Like what? How did my chains just like unlocked and now I'm just able to stand up? Like, first of all, what is standing up? I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like it's that whole just waking up or a rude awakening that this person had, where he's just realizing that he can do so much more, like actually walk around and stuff. And so he takes a step outside and he realizes that A, that there's an outside, and B, that the cave was one little speck on this huge fucking, environment now, that it just like, it was a little bit too much for the guy at first. Even the sun, the light from the sun, his eyes had been accustomed to the darkness for so long. Yeah, his eyes had been accustomed to the darkness so long. And so he goes outside and he realizes that the shadows that were being projected into the cave were not even the items that they were saying they were. They were something completely different. And so he sees all this, and he gets this idea of like, oh, I'm going to go tell the others and have them join me outside because, oh my God, this is amazing. And he goes back inside, and this is where I'm saying the fears, the things that hold us back sometimes are fears, right? And so he's telling the guys like, hey, just stand up, like come outside with me. Like there's this whole other world outside. And like, they look at him like he's crazy. Like, no, yeah. Like that's not real. That doesn't,
like one, I'm still chained up. And like, what if their like restraints weren't even restraints? They just assumed there were restraints and they couldn't leave.
Exactly. That is exactly what the underlying message was there, is that the restraints that we feel we have on our mind are not even actually there. So these people, they like looked at this guy like he's crazy. That's not the logical. You're fucking talking Looney Tunes. Like that's not, So he starts realizing that he's not going to be able to change their mind, and just walks outside, and it's one of those stories where it took a lot to get up and get out of that cave.
Right.
It took a lot because it was something he had never experienced before, and walking into the unknown is not a easy thing to do. And he does it, and it's like you can't fear what you don't know, and sometimes even if you know it may not turn out the way that you think it will. So, just don't feed the fear.
Step out of the cave.